Hi, my name is Matthew. I'm a senior double majoring in Korean and linguistics. In the summer of 2018, I was involved in the Hmong language immersion and culture study abroad program in China. This program is the first of its kind to combine history, culture, and language.
Hi everyone.
Ideal for
Right
immersing
now
in a Hmong
we
abroad
are waiting
experience.
for our next flights. So we're just sitting here in the waiting area. This is my crew. It's nighttime over here in LA.
The Hmong have had a complicated history since dating back to China for about 5,000 years ago. There's only so much we know about their history. From records and oral traditions, they have moved from China to Southeast Asia.
We're here.
And then scattered across various countries such as the United States, French Guiana, and Australia. There are still those who stayed behind in Southeast Asia, and even in China. The Hmong are a stateless nation, so I never knew what to consider as a home for them. As a Hmong American, I consider the United States as my home. But when I refer to the Hmong in general, I can't decide where we originally come from. Before coming into this program, I was unaware of what to expect. I didn't know how I was going to adapt living in a new country for about a month. I was filled with mixed emotions: nervous, sad, excited, and scared. However, I was more curious about the Hmong Chinese ways of living. While growing up, all the stories I ever heard was hearing about the Hmong living in Southeast Asia. Never had I once heard about the Hmong living in China before. I only realized that our history dates further back to China just in high school. Going on this program was an opportunity for me to learn about my Hmong Chinese counterparts, so I was excited about this. When I arrived in China with the others, I didn't know what to feel except that I'm living the moment. I still felt like a minority, yet simultaneously, I didn't either. I came into China knowing no Chinese whatsoever except from the childhood Chinese films that I watched. Being surrounded by people who look like you was an interesting experience. Instead of generally being asked what kind of Asian I am, like how I am in the States, I get mistaken to be a local. My reaction after locals were done talking caused them to realize that I wasn't one of them. I didn't mind it for the first few days, but after not being able to communicate with them as time went on, it sort of felt lonely in a way. I came to China thinking I would immerse myself in a Hmong abroad experience, but that feeling kinda went away when we stayed in the bustling city of Kunming. I then became homesick for that first week because I didn't know how to navigate my way around. However, because I went with a group, I felt safe with them. I can't speak for anyone in our group, but because most of us didn't know Chinese, a lot of us depended on each other, and I think that's when we all bonded. For those first 2 weeks in China, we had class days with a local Hmong Chinese professor.
Do it.
We called him as Professor Sheng. He taught us about Hmong history, culture, and language, particularly in China.
Oh god, it tastes like the one from last night.
Outside of China, the Romanized popular alphabet like what we use in the States is commonly taught. But they have a different writing system that was created by their own government. I couldn't find myself to learn their system just because I was already used to the RPA. I think one topic that caught me off guard and still makes me question about my identity is the difference in Hmong groups, particularly the Hmong Jua and the Hmong Shi. Up until that topic was brought up, I identified myself as a Hmong Jua speaker. Hmong Club and Hmong Jua are the most common in the United States. However, there are more groups in China such as the Hmong Club, Hmong Jua, Hmong Shi, Hmong Bei, Hmong Shua, Hmong Suo, and Hmong Guo. Anyways, when I mentioned to Professor Shum about how there are some Hmong Jua in the States pronounce their R's as weak and not strong, he said those Hmong are classified as Hmong Shi. He mentioned that the Hmong Jua in China pronounce their R's strong, just like how the Hmong Club in the States do, while the Hmong Shi in China pronounce their R's weak. I was shocked when I learned this because it made me question about my identity as a Hmong Jua speaker. I can tell you that me and the other Hmong Jua speakers panicked a little bit after hearing that. However, it wasn't until another peer mentioned that although the Hmong Chinese had all of these classifications for their various Hmong groups, they're all just one ethnic group, but with different dialects. It's just like how we classify the Hmong in the States as Hmong Club or Hmong Jua. We're all just one ethnic group. While in Kunming, I was surprised to see many cultural differences. Maybe it's just me, but I find it amazing how everyone is so active in China. During the evening, the locals will come up to Jade Lake, which was near our hotel, and will be involved in different activities such as dancing, singing, playing instruments, performing, and doing Tai Chi. I often went to Jade Lake to join in on the dancing that I received the nickname Jade Lake from my group. However, the real reason why I often went was because it helped me cope with homesickness. What was most rejuvenating for me was visiting the various Miao villages and meeting the local villagers. Chatting with them felt like reconnecting with a long-lost relative. Although there were minor differences in dialect and accent, I still felt like we enjoyed being in each other's company. There was a lot of eating, drinking, performing, and chatting. I was touched by how genuine, humble, and hardworking all the villagers were. I'm thankful for meeting everyone during the trip because each has helped me personally grow. I also want to mention our one-night homestay experience at Zhehan. Before, it was just stories that I've heard about my parents and predecessors living in villages. But after finally living through a similar experience, I want to give respect to my parents, the villagers, and others who are either once living through that or living through that now. Because of how I was brought up in the States, the homestay experience challenged me. Yet I also saw that as beautiful because it took away my American lens in various situations. I would like to thank the villagers, Uncle Ma and his family, Ling, and the Miao students for their hospitality and generosity. They went out of their way to make us feel welcome and give us a tour around. Although we didn't expect much, we are thankful that they assisted us during the program. Being with them was already satisfying enough because they made us feel like we were at home. Furthermore, I would also like to give thanks to Stephen Lee, our resident director Rosalind, and my peers for being with me on this journey. We had our challenges, yet we always found ourselves laughing at the end of the day. We lived, laughed, and learned. This lesson itself summarizes my whole immersion experience in China, and I wouldn't change it. Thanks for being good to me, China. Until next time.